every single major diaper company on the market today is supporting abortion either vocally or financially. And this was shocking to discover when Pampers is matching employee contributions to Planned Parenthood. You have Hello Bella, who's paying for their employees to go travel and get abortions.
The most important thing in my life is family. And a lot of the reason on why I do what I do on the internet, why I speak to future generations, why I speak about the different ideas of freedom and loss of control and how we can retain ownership of our own futures. The most important reason to me is the fact that I had my own daughter and I had my own child. And everything I do and I say is to make life better for her and my future generations. And I'm really happy to have today's guest on today because Sarah Gabel Seifert is one of those people out there in the world leading the charge to push people to have more family, to be more focused on family values, and having a business that provides value out into the world. Let's do it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to the Matt Kim Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kim, joined by a special guest. And if you're not aware, Sarah Gabel has been on the show before. We'll link it below. Definitely go check it out. She is the founder of EveryLife, which is started off as just a diaper company, expanding a little bit more. We'll talk about that. But she has been really pushing the movement of having families have more babies. I think the official tagline was make more babies, if I'm correct. Sarah Gabel, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be back.
Yeah, I mean, has it been about a year since we last spoke?
Sounds about right. And a lot has happened since then. So I'm ready to dive in.
Yeah, last time we spoke, you had just launched EveryLife, which is a higher quality organic type of diaper. And my daughter actually used them. We love them very much. And now you are rolling out to other countries, other products. Just why don't you, for the listeners and the watchers, why don't you just give a quick rundown of who you are, what you have working on, and then we'll kind of go into what the future holds.
I love that. So we started EveryLife, which is the first and only pro-life diaper company on the market today. Matt, believe it or not, your listeners may or may not know this, but every single major diaper company on the market today is supporting abortion either vocally or financially. And this was shocking to discover when Pampers is matching employee contributions to Planned Parenthood. You have Hello Bella, who's paying for their employees to go travel and get abortions. You have Coterie, after Roe v. Wade being overturned, lamenting over the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned. And the list goes on. And I could not sit on the sidelines and be okay with supporting baby brands that should be supporting their own customers. And I felt obligated to come up with the solution. So that's exactly what we did. We launched almost 2 years ago in July, and now we're the fastest growing diaper company in America today. And I'm so proud to be able to say that we're not only delivering on our pro-life, pro-family values, you can know with a blessed assurance that every single time you shop at EveryLife, you're giving back to be able to support moms and dads who are choosing life for their babies. We've donated now almost 5 million diapers to pregnancy resource centers who need these supplies so they can give it to parents who are struggling, who need the essentials. Every mom and dad need a pack of diapers and wipes. So we are doing everything we can to give back to support those families. And not only that, you're not compromising on quality. We have the best of the best product. It's truly the best diaper I've ever put on my baby. And I'm so proud to be able to say that. We worked really hard to get premium, clean, non-toxic ingredients. And I think it's really important for parents to pause and be evaluating the ingredients that you're putting on your baby's skin because their skin is so sensitive. It deserves the best. So we worked really hard to craft both values and quality, and it's working. We now have training pants and pull-ups for toddlers. We're expanding into bath and body care as well. And now we are going international. And I am so excited to get into that conversation because we are creating a movement of parents that are passionate about shopping their pro-life values, but they're also passionate about creating a movement that is all about standing for every miraculous life, because every life is a gift from God, worthy of love, protection, and celebration. children are our hope. They're our legacy and they're our future. And I am so proud to be able to talk about these cultural issues when so many today see children as a burden. We're saying the opposite. Children are a blessing. They're a reward, and it's something that we should all celebrate. And we know that this message is needed in the United States, but it's needed across the world. And so we're truly just getting started.
Well, quick. I just want to touch on one point. When we spoke last time, and it was about a year ago, and I said, "Oh, can you get the pull-ups?" Because my daughter likes to wear the pull-ups because it feels like she's wearing underwear. And then I just saw you had them, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!" you know. So you guys are rolling out new products, moving on, trying different things. How has the process been between when you launched now 2 years ago and what you've learned along the way?
It's been quite a journey, and we are learning every single day. But the biggest thing that I'm learning is that I want to listen to our consumers. And Matt, you even shared with me that you were looking forward to pull-ups, and we had many other customers reaching out asking, when are we going to get the pull-ups? We want to be able to not only use your products for our newborns and young babies, but in the toddler stage, we'd love to be able to still support your incredible mission and get your incredible products. So that's what we did. We delivered on the things that our customers are requesting and asking, and that's what we're going to continue to do every step of the way. I have to say, I'm so grateful that we are a company that is based in faith. Everything we do is rooted in our faith in God. And so I just can't imagine going through the stages that we've gone through without his wisdom, discernment. And that's really been my guiding light. And when I see doors that he's opening, we're walking through them. And so we're saying yes to the opportunities we feel like God is presenting to us. And that is what has led us into all of these endeavors since the last time we talked. And I'm sure if we talk a year from now, we'll be having the same conversation, right? And I'd love to hear from you. What else do you need? Because at EveryLife, we want to be a brand, right, where families can come to get all the essentials that they need. We started with diapers and wipes, but we always knew it was going to be more than that. Ultimately, we want to be a family brand, a household name where consumers can come to shop their pro-family values and know that they're getting quality at the same time.
Well, if there's anything I can ask for, I feel like you're actually fulfilling it with your next mission. Because, and for people that are listening and watching, like, Matt, what are you doing talking about diapers? It's really important to me, actually. But more importantly, is that a lot of people that watch the show know that I was born in the United States, I live here, my daughter was born here, etc. But my family came from Korea. And we go back because my wife's family is still there. We go back every single year. My wife goes every year. I go every other year. And my Korean culture and heritage is really important to me. And one of the saddest things I see and things that we talk about actually a lot on this channel is the fact that the birth rate in Korea is the lowest in the world. And it's really sad to me. I've even heard of stories of elementary schools closing because there are not enough new young children to fill those schools. And I was in Korea last time, and I'm taking my daughter to kind of the markets, and the grandmothers are crying when they meet her because there's so few children that they're just surprised that we're taking them out there. And the one thing they always say to me is, not only is she lucky, but she's so lucky to be born and raised and grown up in America. And every time I think about that, I'm so like, it really hurts because that's where my family is from. We've been Korean for, thousands of years. And to think that at this rate of where it's going, maybe in 50 years, 100 years, like the country and the people may not exist. And you guys are going to launch EveryLife Korea. And when I heard that, I was like, I really want Sarah Gabel on the show. Because I love that. I really appreciate that. I really do. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you got going on over there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are expanding our brand formally to South Korea. And I just want to start, Matt, with saying that the people in South Korea are so wonderful and so beautiful. And I love how the nation strives for excellence in everything that they do. There's so many things about the culture, all of the heart for respect of people and property and going above and beyond, again, to do things with such high standards is worth noting. The reality, though, is that so many today have actually put career and those items of what they classify as success as a reason to deprioritize family. And the most important thing that one could ever embark upon is having a child, is getting married and spending the rest of your life with your loved one, with a family that you get to nurture and grow. And it saddens me as well to see that this nation could be so prosperous and have such a grand future, but yet they're putting their attention and time in the wrong places. And so we feel, again, an obligation. And there's been an open door with strategic partnerships with Yoido Full Gospel, which is one of the largest churches in the world that want to partner with us, and many influential partners and strategic businesses that want to help us be successful in South Korea. And the reason that we caught wind in South Korea was really because of our Make More Babies campaign that we actually did in the US. We blew up a billboard in Times Square in January last year that said "Make More Babies." It was based off of a tweet that Elon said that children are saving the world, and they're how we save the world. And we agree with that at EveryLife. And this thing went viral and caught wind not only here in the States, but again, it went worldwide. And so this message that we're bringing to Korea and our product, it's not just about diapers and bringing that incredible product to the families there. It is about shifting culture and a narrative that seems to be so thick in the United States and beyond, specifically in South Korea, that children are going to get in the way of success, that they're going to rob you and steal you of your accomplishments, your goals, and your dreams and your desires. And we feel so strongly, again, that strong families build a strong nation. And so that's what we're actually going to be bringing to South Korea. And I hope and pray that this touches the hearts and minds of the people there, because as you just mentioned, children are a gem there. People walk around and when they see one, they light up because that's just what children do. They make our world so special and full of life and full of light. And you can't not smile when you see an adorable child walking around and laughing, and the childlike faith of a child is contagious. And so we want to see more of that. So we're actually going to have a massive billboard at launch in the middle of Seoul that says "Make More Babies," because we know that's going to catch wind. People are going to talk about that and say, wow, never seen this before. What brand is sending a message like this? They'll see it's EveryLife. And I'm really excited that we get to provide them with a premium product and a message that, again, I hope and pray resonates with their hearts and minds.
Yeah, Korea is really interesting. I remember last time I was there and we went to like one of these big malls. And in the big mall, they have such a premium on children because there just aren't that many. So their strollers are available. They're like really high end, and strollers for every kid, and they're for free. Every grocery store or department store you go to, the baby kind of changing places, like in America, if you go to a baby changing place in a family bathroom, it's like this weird fold-out table, plastic fold-out table, right? But there, they have like actual stalls where you can wash them, you can change them. I mean, it's so much more elaborate than they do here now because, again, there is such a premium on the few that there are. Hopefully, well, because of that, I think your business will do very well because people are really looking for premium products. But hopefully, more than that, is that through your messaging, that you incentivize families to have it. Because, again, I mean, people say having a kid is expensive, and it's not cheap, but it's not change your life expensive. It really isn't. Like you can do things the right way and have children if you choose to do so. I think a lot of people are scared to make the small sacrifices that are required in life in order to support a family. I want to have all the partying, and I want to have all the fun, and I want to do all the shopping, and I want to do all these things, I want to do all these vacations, but kids are kind of expensive. How do you think we go back to getting people to realize that family is even more important than maybe this auxiliary that we put into our lives?
I do think it takes a cultural shift, Matt, and it takes a lot of different hearts and minds and companies and brands and every force that we can coming together to create a countercultural message to make parenthood celebratory again, to make it something that we're not actually trying to solve. And that's the sad part, is we shouldn't be trying to solve right now. How do we get people to become parents? That's a really sad state that we're in the United States and the world. It really should be something, again, that is just celebrated, that it's a reward, that it's seen as a blessing. There's still some really great, actually, states here in the US that are so celebratory of parenthood. I'm actually from Alabama, the South originally, and I know you're in the Southern area as well. And I'm actually vacationing right now with my family. I say vacationing, but I'm trying to get some family time in before we go on our big travels. And, I'm looking around and I'm in Destin, Florida, and this is vacation central for families. And I'm seeing all these big families, right? Like moms and dads and multiple kids. They're running around on the beach. I mean, literally everywhere you look, you're seeing smiling, happy children, multiple children per family. And that's normal here. It actually would be really odd to not see that in a location like Florida. And I started to think about what I'm about to embark upon in South Korea. And I'm going to be walking around and I'm not going to be seeing the same picture. And that's really, really saddening to me. And so what has to happen is a normalization of the beauty of life, the beauty of parenthood. And I'm really excited that we get to be a brand that tries to make that dent, because I know the government is trying really hard in South Korea to bring incentive to families to have children. They're trying to do what they can. And it's not working. All these different parties and forces are coming together, but I really actually believe it's going to be companies like ours. It's going to be God's people, the churches that we're partnering with, that start to make a dent and start to make a change there. And I'm really optimistic about what could happen, but it's going to take a lot of work. And it does kind of make me pause and think, man, I wish the US would pay more attention actually to what's happening in South Korea, because it actually, to me, is a warning sign of where we could actually be in about 20 years. If we do not stop and pause and say, what are we focusing on? How do I stop looking so much about myself and think about others, think about a generation beyond my time? It would change everything. At the root of it, it's actually selfishness that I think so many people are not stepping in to accepting the beauty of marriage and creating a family unit together that's strong and healthy. And if we can begin to realize how important that is, that you're actually going to become better, stronger, and more equipped in all the different spaces that you go as a parent. And you would probably say that, Matt. I'm sure after stepping into fatherhood, you're a stronger person. You're a better person. You're kinder. You're more compassionate. You see the world completely differently when you step into parenthood. And honestly, that's been my experience. I love being a mom more than anything else in the whole world. And the one thing that can't actually be replaced, Matt, is me being a mom. My job can be replaced any second, at any moment. But what can't be replaced is me being a parent. And me being a mom to my little daughter, Lily Gabel, and my soon to be next daughter on the way. And that is the greatest privilege. And I think the more that people can realize the honor of that, there's no telling what's in store for the US and beyond. And I hope and pray that that message really resonates.
Yeah, I think there's two really interesting things in there. One is that you said that we need, here in the United States, you have to be aware of what's going on in Korea, because that could be us here in 20 years. And I agree 100%. The way that Korea is and the way their technology is that we get similar technologies and cultural shifts and different types of inputs. I mean, similar types of inputs in Korea as we do here. But their population in Korea is so much more condensed in a small area that you get to see the effects of that much quicker. In the United States, we're blessed with unlimited land, essentially unlimited land. So it takes a while to see the effects of things like technology and consumerism and social media and all these things that we're slowly starting to see the effects of. They got to see that really ramped up in a really short period of time. And if you see that we have the same access to the same information, same technology, same consumerism, same social media, and you see that they're going down this trend of having less children and less family, it's inevitable that it happens here. So we should very much be paying attention to what's going on there. Because again, if it's happening there, it will happen here. You have to learn from there.
100%. And what's really interesting to me is the more that I've gotten to know the Korean culture and working even with our team there on the ground, they really do love America. And they're very, very influenced by American politics and culture. And you even think about the 4B movement, right, that they had there and still pretty active, full of feminists, right, that are basically refusing marriage, refusing sex, refusing to have children. And it's really sad to see that those are the movements that are getting wind, that are causing traction, that are causing eyeballs to look and say, man, there's a strong group out in Korea that really do not want to prioritize having children and getting married. And that is being influenced, I believe, by a lot of the things happening here in the United States and vice versa. Because the moment this 4B movement started in South Korea, you actually saw the ripple effect of that starting to actually happen here in the United States. Now, it didn't get as large and it was a little bit more contained, but it still was happening. And so, to the point that I was saying, and now you're sharing, there is so much influence, and we can't just stay in our little bubble and stay isolated and the things happening in our little world. We need to pop the bubble. We need to stop and assess. I think one of my favorite quotes is from Socrates. He said, "A life not evaluated is a life not worth living." And I believe that, because if we just roll through the motions of life, we get complacent, we get comfortable, that's a really scary place to be in. And I think for a long time, Americans have just been sitting really comfortable in the environments that they're in. But it's time to burst the bubble and realize that we have a serious crisis at hand, and it has to do with population issues. And the fact that we are not repopulating the earth right now the way that it needs to. Right now in the US, our birth rate is at 1.62 babies per woman. The replacement rate needs to be at 2.1 babies per woman. So we're not even meeting the minimum in order to see a healthy, thriving, sustaining country. And you look at, South Korea, and it's at 0.72, I believe, the fertility rate. And that's heartbreaking. And so we really need to pause, assess, and evaluate, and start prioritizing the things that are actually going to make our country stronger and better.
Yeah, I mean, it's 0.72. I believe actually in Seoul, it's something like 0.55. And then when you take rural Korea, it's higher than that zero point 0.7, which is why you get that zero point 0.7 average. So inside Seoul, which is the metropolis within Korea, the biggest one of the biggest cities in the world, it's like 0.55. I don't even know if you can recover from that, actually. But a lot of people are trying to solve that problem. Their government has been throwing money at it. Hey, if you have a kid, take extra maternity leave, and here's $10,000 or whatever it is. It doesn't work. Throwing money at this problem doesn't solve the problem, which means that it's not a money issue. It's a cultural issue. Because again, they've tried throwing unlimited money at this problem, and it solved nothing. You got to fix the way it is. I got a separate question then. Because a lot of the people in Korea, especially women, will say, well, it's really expensive in Korea. And because it's expensive, I, as a woman, also need to work. But you're a mom, you work, you have your career, and they're going to be like, wait, this is not possible. Sarah Gabel's like successful, and she has her kid, and she's about to have another kid. How do you balance that? And what would your advice be to them of women going, I don't know if I could do this?
Well, I want to start with saying you can absolutely do the both and. I'm just one example of so many women out there that are choosing to prioritize family and still have a career. Now, I personally have a faith in God. And so I can't talk about this conversation without bringing him in, because personally, that's been the reason that I have felt compelled to do the lifestyle that I've chosen to participate in. It's not easy. It takes a lot of sacrifice. And at the end of the day, I truly love being a mom. So any moment that I can get, I am with my husband, I am with my daughter, soaking in every single sweet moment that I can, because there is truly nothing sweeter. But because of what I felt God has put on my heart personally to work so hard to create an incredible company that is providing these incredible essentials for families, but more than that, shifting culture to believe that children are a blessing, that parenthood should be celebratory. And because I have such a heart to see our nation stronger, and I care about having a better country for my own children. And you said that at the very beginning. The reason you get up and talk about everything that you do every day is because you're also trying to shift culture, and you want a better future for your kids and their kids and their kids and their kids, right? The work that we're doing right now isn't about just this moment in time. I actually believe it is going to outlast, prayerfully, my time here on earth. And so for me, it's a calling. It's a yes in my heart that I have committed to God. I'm being obedient to that. And that's why I've chosen to go down this path of, having a career and being a wife and a mom. But that is not for everyone. And I actually want to share this, Matt, and many people may disagree with this, but I actually think that we need a culture that celebrates women just being moms. And I don't even want to say just being moms, because being a mom is a full-time job. And it is actually the most rewarding job that you could really put any of your time and energy and effort into, because you're raising the next leaders, the next generation. I can't think of anything, I can't think of a better way to spend your time and your day is investing in children and helping them be raised in a way full of integrity and strength and compassion and love and those qualities that we so desperately need in this world today. And so I honestly, Matt, to sum this up, would love to see a culture that celebrates that for women. And we start talking about this topic to young girls at a very early age, because right now, girls are not set up to be moms. They are set up to go be business women, to go get their college degrees. And there's a one set track for many women, and they're not told that there's other ways. And maybe you do want to, not pursue going to college so you can simply get married and have children. That's wonderful. Go that route if that's what you feel is best for you and your life and your situation. But those are not the conversations that I'm hearing young people have today. And so I'm also working really hard to try to do what I can to bring that conversation to the table. Because truly, Matt, I wish I would have had that. I wish I would have had somebody counsel me in that way to think about a career that would also allow me to be a mom. I know so many people that are 40 years old and saying, I regret the fact that my entire life I pursued my education and my career. Now I don't have a husband and I don't have kids. And I feel like it's too late. I feel like it might not ever happen to me. And I want to see less women saying that today.
Are you okay? I have two final questions for you. I could keep on thinking of them. I know we're short on time. I have to know, because you are a working mom, technically. How does Michael handle the fact that you are extremely busy with your work and your career and your child? How does your husband deal with that? Because it's something I think about too. My wife doesn't work right now, but she every once in a while she's like, well, I kind of want to do more. And I'm like, well, like, you're really busy with our kid. But I get that some women will feel that if they're only with their kids, sometimes it feels like their life is a little lacking. And I can understand that feeling, that I want to be at least productive to society. But if you're working, then the husband or the family is like, well, I kind of wish you would spend more time with my kid. How do you guys balance that?
It's a great question. And we had many conversations before I stepped into this role to make sure that there was alignment and synergy in the path that we were taking together as a family, because it is a family decision. And through a lot of prayer and counsel and bringing in trusted loved ones and family members, this was the decision we felt, again, God was leading us down. And because of that, yes, we felt from God on both sides, on my end and my husband's, there's been a lot of grace to be able to go about this situation the way that we have. If we didn't have those prior conversations in alignment, it would have been really difficult. So we knew going into this, we're both going to be working really hard, and we're both going to be saying no to a lot in order that we can prioritize family, God before everything, and our careers. And because we're running together, for those that don't know, EveryLife is owned by Public Square. So it's our parent company. It's a marketplace full of pro-life, pro-family, pro-freedom businesses, 80,000 plus on our platform. So you could shop in alignment with your values. That's actually one of the reasons we launched EveryLife, because we learned consumers on Public Square were searching for a diaper brand and there was not one, oddly enough, that celebrated life and babies. And so that's when we created the solution, as well as us becoming pregnant with our first and it becoming very personal. And so because we're on this mission together as a family, it makes it a lot easier. We're traveling together. We're in the same meetings together. I'm getting time with my husband. We're running this race together as a family. I think it would be really challenging if we had our own separate lanes and there wasn't that crossover. And so that's how we've been able to make it work. The last thing I'll say, Matt, is we have a lot of support from our family. We have a lot of support. I have incredible parents, incredible in-laws that live close by that come and support me and my daughter. And I couldn't do it without the support around me. And I'm so, so grateful for that. So my situation doesn't apply to everybody's. I realize that it's very unique, but I think that's the takeaway, right? Is that everyone has to assess their own life. A life not evaluated is a life not worth living. So evaluate, what are your priorities? What is most important? And how do I shift things around to ensure that those 4 essentials to my family are actually given the attention that they deserve?
Is your daughter going to Korea with you?
I desperately wanted her to come with me, but she is not actually going to. And the reason for that is because of the massive time change. I felt, and the flight,
It's not
right? It's a
easy.
long way. It's not easy. And the schedule, we're going to be pretty on the ground running for long hours. So I have her staying with her grandparents and she's in great hands. But I will tell you, Matt, this is the first trip I've ever
Mm.
taken away from Lily Gable. She's about 2.5 years old now, and she's been on 90 plus flights. So she comes on every single work trip with me. I integrate her in as much as I can because I'm doing all this for her. So I try not to have too much separation. She'll jump onto meetings with me. My whole team knows her. She's the life of the party. And I think that's important too, is I think sometimes we try to separate our kids or certain things in our life when really there could be actually more integration than we think. It takes creativity, but it's been a really fun journey to have her be a part of watching all this unfold with EveryLife and her be my inspiration.
Definitely check out EveryLife, everylife.com. I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing. I don't bring a lot of businesses on the show. It's typically not what I do, but I believe in what you guys are doing. We ourselves as a family use your product, and I love the idea that you guys promote family, faith, freedom. These are the things that I care about. I feel like we're mission aligned, and I wish you nothing but the greatest success and safe travels into Korea.
Thank you, Matt. Loved being here today.
Thank you, everybody.